Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, apologies for my voice. I'm still getting over a pretty bad infection, unfortunately. I'm sure it's been slightly noticeable within my videos that my voice is a bit up and down in certain areas, and I'm still recovering from that. I believe I'm at the tail end of it, but today was a pretty bad day for it, but we press on. And today I wanted to continue our sort of look into the Valaverse Action Force line, a line that I absolutely love and I've been collecting for a good couple of years now and will continue to collect for as long as this line continues. And today we're going to be getting around to a character who is based off an actual person who I have a lot of deep respect and admiration for. And that is Tony, aka Analog Toys. And right off the bat, as you can notice, this is not the original Tony Analog Toys figure. I bought this from a guy who did a custom on this, but from what I can tell, the torso is the same as well as the head, obviously, but the legs and the gear were taken from other Action Force parts. But I knew I wanted to at least have Tony in my collection because, as I said, I love the Analog Toys YouTube channel. It's actually one of the channels that inspired me to start doing figure reviews and making videos. And I love his knowledge and his passion for retro style toys, toys that British kids and things like that grew up with in the 80s and the 90s and things like that. And his knowledge of it is just absolutely fascinating to hear. And as I said, his passion just oozes through the screen whenever I hear him talk about these things, especially when it's about Palitoy and things like that. But right off the bat, this figure is still great. I love the likeness. I think Valaverse did Tony absolute justice here. From what I could tell, is Tony was one of the first few actual real life people brought into the line in figure form. The other person, I believe, was Tim Kennedy, whose name unfortunately is now a bit controversial. I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to slander or bring anything down on that. Just know that I am aware of certain allegations in regards to Tim Kennedy's career. And when I do eventually get around to that figure, I might talk about it slightly. But that's a different video for a different day. Today we are focusing on Tony from Analog Toys. But as I said, great likeness to Tony here. As I said, I just knew I had to have Tony in my line. I would like to get the full original figure, so that way I have the original one, especially in his box. But unfortunately, he is a bit difficult to track down for a good price, at least here in the UK. But my ultimate dream would be is to take this figure to a live show eventually, and hopefully if Tony is there, I would like to get him to autograph it and things like that. As I said, I'd love to meet and shake the man's hand. But actually, there's not much I can really tell on mine, because as I said, this is a sort of custom kit bash one. From what I can tell, everything is sort of not original on this, apart from the torso and the head. So I gave him a different plate carrier because he didn't come with one. Unfortunately, mine's come a bit loose back here, so I'll have to just pop that back in. And I gave him a desert rifle here. I do have Lucifer, who Tony has said that was his main gun that he actually written Lucifer on the side. I have it on my Vanguard, which will be again another video for another day. So when I eventually get around to that, I will probably swap out Lucifer and give him this to give him the justice he truly deserves. But the detail on here, for being, I believe this was Series 2 or Series 1, when Tony came into the line. But right away, the tattoo detail on there is absolutely fantastic. Comes with the ripcord bracelet. I don't know if Tony actually wore this when he was over there. I assume he did. Valor is usually very good with the details when it comes to his sort of real-life people into the line. Such as when he did with Tim Kennedy. He got all his correct gear and things like that. Tony was a bit of a special case. Though Tony, I do believe, mentioned he did wear a plate carrier. He normally just wore a special kind of one, and sometimes he didn't even bother with that. He normally sometimes wore web gear and things like that. But overall, a solid figure. Still retains the same articulation from Series 1. Has butterfly joints at the elbows, double pinless elbows, wrist swivel. It's a single ball jointed neck at the time, as you can see right there. You didn't have the double necks in Series 1. Your ball joints at the waist and the top torso, but again, because the plate carrier is on here, it does restrict that movement. Ball joints at the hips, thigh cut, double pinless knees, and unfortunately, Tony can't quite kick his own ass there. Then you have your boot cut and forward facing pin for rocker. So again, the articulation was still very good during this time for Series 1. I don't know where the legs come from, unfortunately. I'm assuming it's just a regular Desert Trooper. Maybe it was from another character. I can't place the legs, unfortunately. But I still like this look anyway for Tony. It's just your fairly standard. I would have liked to have gotten a desert vest, or his original vest, because his original vest didn't have the Action Force logo on it. His had his iconic custom badge on there, which I believe was for the SAS, and then he had an England flag or a Union Jack that was on there. But I may do. I still gave Tony some gear. He has his pistol in here with his belt and whatnot. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the original, which is a shame. I am looking for the original, and I will pick it up and I will swap it out when I eventually get it. But overall, guys, what do you guys think? Did you manage to get the original Analog Toys Tony Roberts figure? Who's your favourite Action Force character? And as always, guys, I'd appreciate if you would like, a comment, and subscribe with the notification bell. And I will see you in the next video.